We're gonna be talking about Machine Gun Kelly's blacked out torso.
Machine Gun Kelly has ruined his entire ink vibe. It's just an absurd ick for me.
Now, before we get into this video, let me know, do you like this version of MGK? But we are gonna be talking about his tattoos and the progression to this, like, what I think is a pretty cool blacked out front torso thing. I'm getting like old Leo Zuleta. This is old Leo stuff, I think from like the 90s. And you could tell like there's a lot of influence with this like massive blackout stuff.
Leo Zuleta is developing a new style of tattooing. He calls it neo-tribal.
I just prefer the bold work a lot better, as you can see on my back.
But let's talk about it, the progression, because this is the original Machine Gun Kelly full torso sleeve tattoo look. And bro, we all know that does not look great. A lot of those tattoos are super dated. I'm a year younger than this dude. I can tell you, a lot of these tattoos that he has were popular when I was in high school and right out of high school. Like these negative space tattoos on his arm, the freeway sign that he grew up next to, the established in 1990, these massive cloud with rays coming off of this angel. Like all of these are just screaming 05 to 2010. They're really dating him and they look pretty, just like shitty. There's nothing really that cool about them. And that's one of those things, like when you are getting tattooed, if you're just picking the most popular tattoos, they tend to be trends. And as those trends move on, they will no longer be as cool as when you first got them, which is fine. It's okay, it's not a big deal. Looking at this, like there's no part of me that is stoked about it. The tattoo that I absolutely hate, cannot believe someone tattooed on him, are these suspenders. These black bars going down his stomach. They look so bad, they look so cheesy. It's just a goofy tattoo and I hate it. I also hate his like locals only with the bricks and the anarchy. Like why? Just why? Who's tattooing this crap on him and why are they doing it to him? So then we have the beginning of him starting to move away from these like old tattoos and start doing some blast overs. We see he put this big crow with a dagger going through it, and then he put some color in those clouds. Just like starting to get to this point where he doesn't care as much and it's more about like layering stuff, blasting things around each other, just so it gets so muddy that it just like, at a certain point when you have a bunch of bad tattoos, if you throw just a bunch of random shit around it, it kind of looks cool, at least to me. And that's because I've probably seen this done with like every tattooer I've ever known. Eventually you just start throwing crap places and it looks right somehow. But that's where we are. He's like blacking out this crow, the stomach. You can see he's getting some like newer tattoos with the yellow on his ribs. That all looks great. I'm like really actually stoked on that. This shows me that he's like, sees what he doesn't like and he's starting to change certain things, and he's not too worried about the outcome. He just wants to see what it looks like, and wherever he goes from there, he's gonna get there and he'll be okay with it. So this is very similar to the last photo, but we're starting to see this like black work. You know, he's covering up these old tattoos with this crown of thorns, and he's not caring too much about whether the cover up is working perfectly. He just cares about making the overall thing look darker, and it makes it look interesting. I'm stoked on this. You can see he has some other black blast overs with this spider on his nipple. He always had the spider, but there's some stuff next to it that I can't really see because of the angle, that you're like, okay, he's starting to blast over things. He's just like putting things, trying to make the whole thing overall darker. And at this point, I'm excited. Like as a tattooer, as someone just like looking at his tattoos, I'm like, things are looking cool. He's putting these like geometric shapes on things as blast overs. And it's working at this point. You know, like if you look at his shoulders, he has these geometric shapes. One is like really squared and one's really circular. And it's starting to work. I'm okay with it. I'm happy at this point. From where we started to here, I'm stoked. It's interesting. But then we get here, And then everything I just said a moment ago, I'm like, ooh, he's experimenting too much. He's getting too wild and trying too many things. And the tattooers he's going to are trying a lot of wild things that probably aren't working. Like you could see, he blasted over the 1990 with this like weird biomech tribal that is just not dark enough to do the job, but it's too dark to really see what's happening. It's a little bit of a mess. At this point, I hate it. If he would have stayed here, I would have been like, ooh, that's an ugly look. I'm gonna guess he also felt that way because the next look is this blacked out look. And from here, I go, woo! I love it. I don't want blacked out anything, but if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it like this. Go for it. It's strong. Like I said, like you're seeing Leo Zuletta's vibes here on his arms. And I love that on one arm, he did one pattern and on the other arm, he did a different pattern. And it looks so strong, just like so clean, so good. I'm into it. And then I wanna show you this, like this is him in the wild. Like his arm looks so cool, so interesting. Like you know that there's crap under it, and he aged out of it. He does not like him anymore. And he goes and he blacks out everything just so that like he feels more comfortable with the tattoos he has. Right on, I love it. I like when people don't take their tattoos too seriously and they're just experimenting, trying to see what happens. And this is a great example of when a blackout is the right move. I'm excited. I hope he continues the blackout. I hope he doesn't have to do so much covering with black and he has some more empty, loose space. That would be really interesting for me. But I don't know. I mean, clearly the blackout dude he's going to is a killer, crushing out tattoos. So, you know, they'll figure it out together, but this version of MGK is the version of MGK I want to see. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in a few days.